And quickly before we start off this video, my dad saw his first ever Model 3 today. I know, so cool, but I have yet to see a first Model 3 for me on the road yet. But now let's get to the video. Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla. If you don't know who that is, I think you're living under a rock, and I wonder what type of rock that is. But he promised 5,000 Model 3s per week by the end of June, and here we are. In case you don't know what the Tesla Model 3 is, the Tesla Model 3 is kind of the first ever mass affordable electric car. As of right now, you could go to a Nissan car dealer and buy the 2018 Nissan Leaf for $30,000, but that only has 160 miles of range. And if you want to up the ante on the range, you go to a Chevy dealer and you can get the Chevy Bolt, which has 220 miles of range. Decent, right? But the Chevy Bolt is around $36,000. You could probably get it for cheaper because Chevy isn't selling that many. And then when we get to the Tesla Model 3, which is practically the same amount as the base model of the Chevy Bolt, which is $36,000 if you're accounting for the destination charge, which is $1,000. And when I say the range of the Model 3, you're not going to be like, whoa, that's so much more than the Chevy Bolt, but it's more than just the range. The range for the Model 3 is 220 miles at the base price of $35,000. You could of course upgrade the car range to 310 miles, but that's with a $9,000 long range battery option, which many people aren't going to do. But the whole reason that the Model 3 is the electric car for the mass market, and it's practically the first one, because there's three reasons I want to highlight. Number one, because it looks good, it's a Tesla, so it drives well too. And then second is a Tesla supercharging network across many countries, in Europe, along the United States, and China. If you want to go on a long road trip, you can because of the Model 3 supercharged network. You can't do that with the Chevy Volt and the Nissan Leaf. You can, but it's going to take longer to charge because you're not going to use their own chargers. And the third thing is that with the Model 3, you have the driver assistance option of the classic autopilot. And who doesn't want to have autopilot? Let the car drive for you. But that's truly enough for a background of the Tesla Model 3. Let's talk about the updates with the Tesla Model 3 and other cars that Tesla is doing in general. Around 2 weeks ago, Elon Musk said that they're building the new production assembly line to make the performance version of the Model 3, and the starting price out there was $74,000. Elon Musk even tweeted out a picture of the first ever performance Model 3 coming off of the assembly line under a tent. I'll get to that in a second. But with the performance versions of the Model 3 now coming out, people could now place their orders for the starting price at $74,000 to get their Model 3 to 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And not only does it bring the car 0 to 60 time from 5.1 to 3.5 seconds, it also maxes out the top speed at 150 miles per hour, but no one should be doing that. But talking about the assembly line under a tent, it's actually a literal tent, kind of. Because where Tesla's making their cars partly in the Fremont factory, Tesla has barely any space. In the Fremont factory, Tesla has to make all the Model X's and the S's that they normally do, but then they have to make all the new batches of the Model 3s in crunch time. So Tesla ran out of space in the Fremont factory, so they just built this little hangar to make a new production line for the performance version of the Model 3. But the reports out of that tent is that they're not really making a lot of cars there, they're just moving it really inside. But still, that's very fast thinking a part of Tesla and Elon Musk, thinking just to make a tent in 2 weeks instead of making a whole building in 3 months. But getting back to the point, people already reserved a performance Model 3 with all those features that they already had, and they went into reserving the performance version at a $74,000 price tag. But Tesla just announced that they have reduced and cut off $6,000 off of that performance price tag. $6,000. So if you already reserved your performance Model 3, you're getting kind of $6,000 back in your bank account, theoretically. So this is definitely some good news to people who have ordered the performance version. And there's also some price cutting from the people who ordered the all-wheel drive version. It went from $5,000 for the all-wheel drive option to $4,000. And talking a little bit more about the performance versions for a second, Tesla also added aluminum pedals to that performance package, along with a red caliber brake to that package, which people didn't even know that were coming into. But with these price cuts, no one can complain, and Tesla is just trying to produce as many Model 3s as possible. So what's the update on that? A few months back, Elon Musk said in a shareholder meeting that they're getting to 5,000 Model 3s per week by the end of June, and sadly, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. As of this moment, even though we have a couple days left until the end of June, it does not look like they're going to hit that goal, because right now they're around 4,000 cars per week, 4,200, in between that range right there. Which means another one of Elon Musk's ambitious goals aren't going to make the cut, Sally. And just one more thing, talking about the Model 3 price cuts, they also upgraded the price for 2 coats of paint, Sally. The multi-coat red and multi-coat white are going to now cost $1,500 instead of $1,000 for the Model 3 paint job. And not only did they increase the price on those 2 paints, they also added another brand new $1,000 paint option that's just a nice metallic black. Instead of the free cheap paint job black, they added a nice metallic black into the mix of the colors. So if you want a black, get the $1,000 black. Trust me, it's multi-coat. It's going to last much longer. But the last news I had out of Tesla's camp is that Elon Musk tweeted what people want to see in a future Tesla pickup truck. But here's what Elon Musk has to say about the future pickup truck and the baseline features. The Tesla pickup truck will have dual motor all-wheel drive with crazy torque and a suspension that dynamically adjusts for the load. And not only that, Elon Musk said that the pickup trucks will have outlets for up to 240 volts for some power drills. All that I said right now will come standard in a future pickup truck, and I would love to see that. But with the headache that Tesla's going through right now, I don't think we're going to see that pickup truck for the next 3 to 5 years at that. But thank you to all my subscribers for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one for another technology news update.